Well. Here we are after week 3. We got a brand new Milan Weekly podcast with fake Stevie P here on my what are my left? On my right?
I'm on your right on this.
You're on my right. Fabio, what do we have in store for today? We're gonna talk about Milan. We're gonna talk. You can't talk bad about Juve. They might be watching. They might investigate us. So please don't talk about Juve. But other than that, what else do we have in store for everybody today?
Serie A fantasy. We're going to be talking the rest of Serie A. We're going to be getting into a few Patreon questions. But first, Vinny, what do we got to tell them to do? Come on.
We gotta tell them to subscribe, to like, to hit the notification button. But don't tell Juve. It's very important. Don't tell Juventus.
We take any fans. We take any fans.
We'll take any fans. But on that note, gentlemen, yes, the match recap, Serie A recap, some busted tweets as well.
Oh, of course,
and
busted X. Yes.
And busted X. And on that note, ovunque e sempre, let's get the show.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa Giro in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Coast to coast del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here where we talk everything Milan, cruising in the capital Milan, and boy does Roma suck Milan. And Fabio here is trying to be surfing. He just came back from vacation. He's replacing Stevie. What a trooper. Stevie P couldn't make it, but here you are. And may I remind everybody, we are not to talk bad about Juve. They are watching. They're going to police us and strike us down. Please don't talk bad about Juve. Here you are, Fabio. Welcome back. And how are we feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good, man. Just a little jet lag. Just got off the plane. But I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I got to experience Milan for the last 2 games in Ecuador. So it's been a great experience, but I'm back at home.
How was that?
I had the international break a little early. Vinny, don't ask me about my business, all right? Just like Michael Corleone told his wife at the end, don't ask me how I watched Milan. I just did, okay?
You just did. Okay. So you're here. You're back in the beautiful Long Island. It is, obviously, leave it to Serie A that we have an international break after 3 weeks. But, I wanted to get your first thoughts, even though you legally watched Milan there in Ecuador, but let's get straight into it. I had said that I was a little afraid. Afraid is a big word, but Roma 1 point in 2 games. They just signed their striker Lukaku, and I'm gonna reiterate. Roma
Reiterate.
sucks.
You said it. You got it.
They suck. Like, I was watching this Milan, and I'm like, who is this Milan, first of all, right? And then I started thinking, like, my God, do they suck? Like, really, really bad. Fabio, tell me, looking at all the starting lineup, I know there wasn't a surprise for the starting lineup. That's where we're going to get. But your thoughts on this game?
Well, I as we spoke early on the Patreon special before my McDonald's Wi-Fi kicked in, I wasn't nervous about Roma. I really wasn't. From what I've seen the prior 2 games, I just thought the fact that they didn't have Mourinho, still missing a couple of their key players, which again, it seems no Dybala, no problem. All right. And maybe as Lukaku gets more into shape and into the game, I think without Dybala in there, I think Roma's pretty average. And honestly, I expected what happened the first 60 minutes. It's the last 30 minutes that threw everything into the normal Milan fashion, where nothing can come easy, nothing can be relaxing. No, your blood pressure needs to be through the fucking roof until the whistle blows.
It's the Milan that I saw in the first 60 minutes, Fabio, was like, I remember I was at the bar looking at my cousin, looking at Mario, was like, but who is this Milan? I was, we were attacking. They had no answer for us. And, yes, the first yellow card tomorrow was harsh.
Yes.
Coming into question, why didn't he sub him out before? There's some videos out there of Theo Hernandez, and people want to judge and people want to misinterpret all these videos. Oh,
yeah, him and Leao saying something to Pioli or in his direction, like why you're substituting Loftus-Cheek or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand what that was. But listen, I'll tell you this since you just touched on it, right? The first foul with Tomori is a bit egregious. It's pretty early in the game. It's really his first time with a hard tackle. They immediately give him a yellow. That one's harsh, right? But the second one, right? And I've been angry.
You've been angry.
I know. If you're a part of the Patreon group chat, I had a bit of a moment there a Friday night where I was going back and forth with Colin and just talking about, yes, Pioli, we have to kind of look at you for one thing, right? If you saw that he had a yellow, why risk it? At 2-0, get him out of there, because the only thing that could have brought Roma back into that game was going down to 10 men. And that's exactly what happened. But at the same time, how much can you blame Pioli? He's literally getting ready to change him at any moment. And it's really on Tomori. And again, Tomori has been a great player since he's come to Milan, but he has these moments where he can divisively change the game against us. And this is one of those moments. So as much as I want to harp on Pioli, this is your fault. You should have changed him early. It's same thing probably with Loftus-Cheek because he was on a yellow, but you waited to do that. What can you do? Again, it's still on the player because Tomori's the guy in the field. But I just want to say this thing. Despite of what you think about Pioli, he's got them playing pretty well. New formation, new players. They're integrating well. But this time, he played with fire.
He did.
Despite if you thought, hey, you should have rushed it. As soon as the second goal came, make the changes then. Get yourself into a position where you can stranglehold the game. You had it basically in your hands the whole time. But he was too slow to act. That seems to be Pioli's MO. It didn't hurt us this time. But what happens when it does? Are people going to be able to stand up and say, you've done a good part of the season so far, but these are the moments where you as a coach need to evolve as well. But it hasn't hurt us yet, so you can't complain. I know a lot of people love to complain, Vinny. There are complainers out there, and they're still complaining.
It's I was looking back at this match, and guys, forgive me because on the penalty, excuse me, throughout the whole, how is this a penalty? How is this a penalty? I'm like, okay, here we go, Serie A. Then I saw the replay. I'm like, okay, that's a penalty. Goes by Giroud. What is it? It's fourth after 3 games. Leao with a FIFA goal. Is that what you want to call it?
That's a goal he's been attempting. If you've seen any of the videos that they've put together, that just because you miss the first 3, 4, 5 times, don't stop, because one of these times it's gonna happen, and it happened to Leao. But before we go to Leao, I want to just touch upon one thing.
Yeah,
Loftus-Cheek's penalty, despite a brilliant piece of play with the guy that everybody says is washed up, he can't play every game, we need another one. Again, Giroud makes something amazing happen, and he does finish his all of his penalty chances so far, thank God. So he's been outstanding as a Milanese. The fact that everybody harps all the time on finding his replacement. No, Giroud is in the height of his career. He is still playing first team for the French national team. Give the guy respect. I just hate that everybody wants to harp on all the time. Oh, Taremi would have benched this guy, this, that. Oh, we got Jovic now. He's a nobody. Yeah, that might be true. But you know what? Giroud, when he's on the line and when you have great talent around him, players that he's already played with. As you could see, Loftus-Cheek and him, Pulisic and him, they have a great chemistry there, and we're doing great things. But the thing I wanted to mention is that there's a lot of VAR going on. Right?
Way too much.
And at some point, it's going to go against us. But while it hasn't, let's be happy that it's there, okay? That's all I wanted to say.
And looking at these players, and Loftus-Cheeks is, Anthony was saying in the comments, taking my words, like a freight train. He's been like, wow. Like, seriously, I can't
mention. I'm sorry. I had to mention my uncle, your namesake over there, Vincenzo Messina. My uncle, we're going to be together for the Derby in 2 weeks. And he's saying we're going to watch together and we better win. Otherwise, he might find Juventus in first. Like, 2-8! Don't say such a thing.
We're going to get into the other results soon enough. But, I've been singing high praises for left butt cheeks. But, Fabio, out of the starting lineup, who to you was the man of the match?
I mean, it's the one, the only. If you forgot about him, your ass better call somebody. It's Rafael Leao, man. That piece of brilliance. Leao was just dynamic the whole game. He had to get subbed off, obviously, later to bring in Okafor. But I thought Leao was the man of the match, honestly.
You know what? I'm not saying this as a joke because we love to love on him, but King Krunic had a fucking fantastic game, guys. I'm sorry. We here on the channel we've liked to exaggerate his qualities, obviously, whatever the case may be. But Krunic had one hell of a game. I not taking anything away from left butt cheeks, even Reindeers. Reindeers has started all 3 matches, guys, and he's been fantastic. For me, people wanted to rag on Calabria. I get it. Calabria on the last, people want to concentrate on, he got burned on the last goal. Yeah, but not on the goal, but he got burned in the last, 5 minutes, but he was the one back defending. And it seems like Calabria has that, no matter what you do throughout 85 minutes, you make that one move that makes you look slow. We're going to remember that. And Mbappe is going to burn him.
That's true. Husney makes a great point. Calabria, as much as you want to slander him, he did have a couple of moments where he looked kind of turned around. One of them ended up being the goal. But the slight deflection from Kalulu, what can you do? But the assist that he made, I mean, you got to give him hats off for that. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, Calabria, you're the only Italian starting for the team. Shout outs to Gio for that. All right. Also, Calabria makes a great pass to Leao. So if you're going to have defensive deficiencies at moments of the game, please counteract it with some brilliance on the offensive side, and we'll be able to deal with some of the shortcomings. But other than that, I think everybody played pretty well. Shout out to the German vibranium, as Gio likes to call him, Malik Chow. Unbelievable performance, playing well against arguably you could say the best team we've played so far this year. But I want to say, man, typical Rome game. You said they were shit. They were. No, and honestly, that's Mourinho's style, just heavy tackling, arguing at the referee the entire game.
Because Pioli came out of his box, guys. Pioli came out of his box and he was trying to complain. But you got to give it to him. He's trying to take away from his team's performance. But I was expecting a lot more from Roma. And Milan came out on top. And it is what it is. 3 games, 9 points. And, it is what it is. Now we have 2 weeks. Obviously, give it to Serie A and all this. I know everybody else is off. Well, I wanted to ask you on this because it's part of the title of the podcast. And Vinny Mancini asked us on Patreon, gentlemen. I hope you both have a wonderful long weekend. Milan versus Inter next. Both teams at 3 wins, no losses, same amount of goals for. Inter edges us with 0 goals against. Milan have 2. What is your honest opinion going into the massive derby? Do you think we can get this done? I honestly cannot take another Milan loss against these Snakes. The team has come through on top, may put a punto definito on the 2023-2024 Scudetto run. I don't feel great going into this match, guys. Lots of people are talking about how well Milan is playing, which they are. Well, Inter is also playing some solid football. We have the habit now of baiting our opponents into attacking our back four. We got lucky a few times against Roma. If Inter press heavily, which they will, we're going to get fucked. Also, they seem to be playing more fluid football than we are. Overall, I'm nervous. We need this win. Sempre Forza Milan. It's the derby in 2 weeks. We said, Steve and I previously, in the first 10 games, we get Juve, we get Roma, we get Inter. And I feel Vinny Mancini's comment, because we're going to talk about the other results after, because Inter was, wow, this week. This is our test. Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling this Milan? Because we've seen chinks in the armor, if I would like to say. You can't make these kind of mistakes that we made against Bologna, Torino, and Roma against a team like Inter, especially from what we've seen from Inter.
No, you can't. But at the same time, I think we still have yet to hit our stride, and we should be very, very positive that this is going to be the game that we can turn it around. Now, the thing is that the Inter we're playing are not struggling whatsoever. Everybody's somewhat healthy. Everybody's healthy. So it's a big game. But I don't want to harp too much on it, because I just think it's a really long season. But for us mentally, we can't take a fifth loss in 1 year. That's too much. So for me, I want to see the team. I think we'll be able to compete in ways that, despite being defensively limited somewhat, people would say, 2 goals in 3 games is not that bad. We're doing pretty good. We like a clean sheet, but I can see it being tied. I could see it could be like a goal scorer. We're gonna have to rush to score as many goals as we can, just in case we give up as much. But I think this is finally the test that we've all been waiting for, because Bologna, Torino, and even this weird Roma, it's not the same. And just shout out one comment before we move on. I hope Roma fans can track their team's route to Serie B as well as they track Lukaku's played. Great shout out there, Husney. But yeah, I think Inter's the real test to tell us where we are, because we have a hell of a stretch coming immediately after.
Definitely, it's going to be September 16th, noon Eastern time. I think if you're going to be in Phoenix, maybe I think it's 3 hours or 2, but hopefully you get to
3. It's
3
hours. 9 a.m. with the Milan
5
Club
o'clock
Phoenix.
Somewhere, Fabio. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
The beer and pizza will be being cooked at 9 a.m., baby. All right,
I love it.
Join us there. Where I think it's called Desmond. But
you're gonna go meet Nico and
the rest of Milan Club Phoenix, and anybody from Milan Club SoCal who want to take the trip, go out there.
We shall see if Gio listens. Before we get into Serie A results, Fabio, 3 games in, who has impressed you the most?
I don't want to tease Stevie by saying that I'm a Pulisic fanboy. All right, but I gotta say, honestly, from my standards and what I thought of him coming in, Loftus-Cheek has been a real surprise, man. Reindeer's honorable mention. He's been great too, but Loftus-Cheek has been really good. And obviously, we've mentioned, Milan needed that bigger presence, a bigger player, and he's really good. He's really good so far. And finally, when we come back from the derby, we'll see his real test out there against Inter, and see if our midfield can hold up against this. I think he's been great, honestly, so far.
I like that answer, because I was going to say the same thing, because all these players that we signed, because we're all internet experts, right? We're all expecting them to do good, but I think Loftus-Cheek's, because of being signed right after, Tonali being, sold, nobody was expecting so much from him, but he's just been fucking fantastic.
Absolutely.
And a lot of presence in the attacking midfield. So we need to congratulate the new, what is he saying here, Anthony? We need club
Milan Club Houston in Houston, Texas. So now, if you're in the Houston area, go meet up with Milan Club Houston, a new club starting up. Check them out on X or Twitter or whatever the hell it's called.
And Milan Club Hamilton, I know Facebook friend reached out to me. It looks like we're going to be maybe doing a special in the next couple of weeks for like the Milanismo worldwide. So we shall see what goes on from there. Let's. Do you have anything in closing before we go look at the other results?
The last thing in closing I'll mention here. Frank, Facebook Frank said, remember that the 3 wins came against teams that took 9 points from Milan last season. Plus, one of them eliminated Milan from the Coppa Italia while down 10 men. And that, of course, he's talking about Torino. Good form for Frank. That's a hell of a point.
I wanted to share the, I think it's Opto. I think the website is Opto with stats, Milan's 83rd win against Roma and 5th against Jose Mourinho. Pioli's 8th win against Roma and 3rd against Mourinho. Goals number 277 and 278 goal for Milan and 221 for Roma. Including last season, Milan have been undefeated in the league since 6 matches. Milan hasn't lost 11 of their last 12 matches against Roma in Serie A, balanced 7 wins, 4 draws, and no defeat. In the last 12 matches between the teams in Serie A, rossoneri have scored at least 1 goal in each of their matches. For the first time since 2011-2012 season, Roma didn't manage to win in the first 3 matches of the new season. It's been 10 years. Pioli is the second Milan coach in the 3-point era in Serie A after Ancelotti of 557 points to score the most points for rossoneri. Giroud's Giroud equaled Shevchenko's 2001-2002 record, 4 goals in the first 3 games of the new season, and Milan won the first 3 matches of the new season for the 3rd time in the last 4 Serie A seasons.
Yeah, Pioli cracked the 300-point mark behind
in the 3-point era. So we're not going to.
I just want to say one thing. Yes. This game, right? Again, like I mentioned before, you can't blame Pioli too much for a player making a mistake on the field, but if Leao doesn't score a goal that is just out of this world, and that who knows how long it'll be until he can even do the same thing again regarding that, we're looking at a completely different outcome, which again sees us dropping points to Roma at the last couple of minutes. It would have been a complete heartbreak, but it didn't happen. All right, because this Milan is,
and it used to happen in the past.
Yes, used to happen these are the moments, Vinny, that everybody, no, calm down, Christopher. But I'm just telling you, if this turns out to be the second star season, it's moments like this that you'll remember are the difference of winning and losing a championship. That's where I stop.
I like it. On that note, this Serie A recap is brought to you by Fubo TV, your home for all things Serie A here in Canada, some EPL as well. If you want to watch the EPL, but we're here to watch Serie A. And I love teaching all these old men on the bar that they can actually watch Fubo TV here in Canada in Italian. They just change the language in Italiano. Sassuolo beating Verona 3-1. Sassuolo finally coming out with a win on that one. Udinese Frosinone, a stalemate 0-0. Bologna coming back from behind, and I'm happy. To seeing Bologna win, because I think they've played well in the first 3 games. But from all these games on this graphic, Fabio.
So Sassuolo, this whole game was about the return of Berardi. Berardi's back, scored 2 goals, looked really well. His first game of the season. So shout out to them. Verona had been on a hot streak starting the season. Couldn't believe they were in the top 5, but finally got their first loss. But Sassuolo just reestablishing themselves that they do have some quality players. Obviously, Berardi makes the difference. Piemonte scored the first goal, so Sassuolo was good. Udinese Frosinone. This game seems like it was boring, but there was a lot that went on. Goalkeepers on both sides made saves. A lot of VAR stuff happening in that game, but goals.
No.
What
you're talking about VAR?
Oh, VAR's everywhere right now.
Speaking of VAR, Fabio, it was Napoli 1, Lazio 2, because VAR decided to get into this game. I'm just happy that this game ended up with the rightful winner. Yeah, Napoli had no business winning this game. It's Lazio came out, dominated. And obviously, Kamada scored. We should have signed him. Oh my God, Kamada scored. No, guys. Lazio if we're looking at the first two games, Lazio was a right feeling to put money on because Lazio hadn't come out and play. And Napoli, Lazio winning 2-1, another kink in the armor, as we like to say before. But what did you think about this game?
Lazio again had 2 goals taken off after review. One for offside. Actually, were they both? One offsides, one something else. I don't even
like. I was. Steve said it. This VAR is going to ruin this game, right? And the way, okay, one guy seemed to be. It was in the action. He was in the action of offside. In the end, the rightful team won.
Lazio looked like a team that needed to win. Special shout out from this game, Kamada getting on the board with a nice shot that turns out to be the game winner. Zielinski too from Napoli. He's the only Napoli player I think that really played well. He had their only goal and he had a couple other chances that were saved. He looked good, but again, Lazio needed this to get back on. Honestly, Lazio looked like a shell of themselves. They didn't know who the hell they were the first 2 weeks,
and Napoli
drop points to Napoli.
Let's not kid ourselves. This is not okay. Napoli's not a Serie A Scudetto contender, guys. It's one game. Mm-hmm. It's one game. So I'm going to keep that same energy, but I'm very happy that the rightful team won because Lazio came out to play, and Napoli had no answer. So kudos to Lazio. Looking at the other Serie A results, Atalanta winning their derby 3-0. Fabio Becatellari, he had a nice assist. We should have never let him go. These are the professionals of Twitter and Facebook. But you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy for the kid. What is it? A goal and assist in 3 games. Atalanta deservingly winning 3-0 against Monza. Well, I know Monza. I don't want to take anything away from them, but guys, it's Monza. You should be winning easily 3-0 at home.
This particular game was about Scamacca introducing himself seriously back to the rest of the league. Quality player, great header on the first goal. Second goal, he shoots from outside the box. I mean, he's a solid player, man. Now you could see maybe Milan should have looked at this guy if we could have got him, but we'll see what happens in the future. But he's pretty solid and easily got them to 3 points.
It was one game. We shall see what Atalanta could muster up in the following weeks. Torino winning in the last minutes of the game against Genoa 1-0. Inter Fiorentina. I was not expecting a 4-0 win, but Inter, guys, is fucking dominant. Guys, we're always going to tell you the truth here. Wow. And Fabio, how I was saying, you guys, Milan played well, but fucking Roma sucked.
Yeah.
I don't have that comment on this game. And that worries me, for the Scudetto, because I can't say, I'm not going to say Fiorentina really sucked. Inter was just on top. And whether it be Thuram's first goal, Doppietto di Lautaro, they were fantastic.
I'm going to mention this about Inter, all right? No matter whether you like Inter or not, which we all, obviously, if you're watching the show, you probably don't, right? Maybe there's a few Interistas out there like our personality check-in, but you have to give respect to Lautaro Martinez. This guy might be easily the best striker in the league right now. No matter what you could say, he's playing in such unbelievable form. He's the guy I worry most about. If we can shut him down next game, we can give ourselves a chance. But damn, man, Inter is firing all cylinders. Fiorentina didn't stand a chance. I mean, I think it's going to be a battle. Like Vince is saying, the second star is coming to Milano, but it just depends which team is it going to be. Obviously, we want red and black, but damn, Inter's strong. We better put a hurting on them next time we play, man.
Next game is Empoli versus Juventus. Juventus won 2-0, and they did not cheer anti-Milan in their buses, so we're gonna keep this nice and slow. Guys, I like to joke around, but Juventus, they came out as Juve. This is the Juve that, I said at the beginning of the season that I feel that, the contender to the Scudetto is Juve because they're not going to be playing those 3 games a week. But Empoli's bad. I get it. But I think the Vlahovic and Chiesa scoring. They need those two guys to do what they need to do. But Juve here with no surprises, where I felt maybe, again, guys, I know it's only 3 games, but maybe a Juve from a couple of years ago would have struggled and won 1-0. I don't feel they struggle on this game.
Well, no, I mean Chiesa's finding his feet in this season already, and I think Juve still is going to be a problem. They're, despite dropping points last week, they took care of them. Empoli is bad, man. They should start packing their bags for Serie B now. Oh my Lord, they look bad.
Lecce winning against Salernitana, the 2-0 win to finish off Serie A, and looking. I know it's only been 3 weeks, but as you can see here, Inter Milan 9 points out of 9. Lecce and the Sunny writing it with Lecce, good. I love this Sunny. You're the fucking best.
Lecce, baby.
Lecce in 4th place.
That's Strasbourg Steve's third favorite team. Lecce.
Third favorite team. You know what? I wanted to before. Well, you know what? Let's finish off this segment. And this segment has been brought to you by Fubo TV, your home for Serie A here in Canada. Watch all Serie A and EPL. Subscribe today. Before we get into questions, I wanted to ask you, because I didn't get to talk to you very much while you were on vacation, the Champions League draw. I know we were talking about it here. The schedule came out. We got Newcastle first. I gave my opinion at the bar of one of the old men, because I love those old men. I felt that maybe if it was last year, this draw, I would have been. And this year, I feel like, okay, this is what we got, and let's go after. Let's do this, right? I'm not saying we're gonna win this group. I'm not saying that we're gonna beat everybody, but that confidence in myself. What were your thoughts? You were in Ecuador when you saw?
I was in Ecuador, struggling to try to listen to it or get updates because my signal was terrible. Obviously, when you're traveling abroad, especially, I don't want to say third world country, but Jesus Christ, but it was very difficult to get the actual updates as they were coming in. As soon as I looked, we already were in the group, and then Newcastle was the first thing I saw. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So, I listen, is PSG as strong as they were a year ago, 2 years ago? Mbappe is going to bring it. What about the rest of the team? I don't know. Why? And they're not in first place at the moment. They're struggling to start in their own league. So there's no reason with our players who love to come up big, in these kind of moments, I think we're going to play well. Newcastle, they have a kind of tough run of form. They have a lot of games that they're playing against top talent in their own country. So the first game they're going to get is us. So I think coming into San Siro, we can get that one. Dortmund, I don't know. They look like they were struggling in their own league this past weekend as well, but they got usually some good talent. A lot of our players. There's going to be these former players playing against their own teams. A couple guys that we used to, Donnarumma Rat, he's coming back, all right? So we're going to put some cheese and dollars all over the field for him so it feels comfortable so we can put a couple past him. Hopefully he's got some balls on his feet sometimes because we know how great he is like that. But Tonali coming back, he's going to get an ovation. You know that. I just think, honestly, there's no reason that we can't top the group. We can't get through. There's no reason to think like that. This Milan is pretty strong. We've been going progressively further as the Champions Leagues go on. So if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So if you want to progress like second star winners, I hope we're going to be. I hope that also means deep progression into the Champions League because that's where Milan belongs. That's where most people who watch this show, who know Milan as Milan, is because in the Champions League. So we didn't get Real Madrid. We didn't get Manchester City. No Bayern Munich. PSG is the big name right now because of Mbappe. But he gets hurt or he doesn't come through. We should be able to do what we're supposed to do. Brother versus brother. Good mention there. Strasbourg Stieg. Hernandez on both sides. It's going to be awesome, man. This is what I think as a Milan fan. Yes, it might be the group of death because all the teams are pretty solid. But there's no reason to not say we are the most solid of all of them.
On that note, you know what? I was on the comments to Peter. Sorry, I completely forgot to open up the Serie A Fantasy Who's Up after 3 weeks. But guys, please join our league. It is in the comments. President is going to scold me after this. Going to send me some messages. Sorry, my bad. It's Labor Day. I was feeling good today. I completely forgot about that.
Well, I can pull it up. I got it right here. Hold on.
You got to pull it. No, but you got to pull it up on the
screen. All right, they're not
on the screen. What do you got? You got to pull it
Hold
up
on,
on the screen.
Well, let's first of all, let's see where I'm at. Minky, I'm at 65 here, 65th. The red and black ball slack.
Who's the first five?
First place. All right. First of all, I have like 150 points. I don't even know that was that bad. I'm on page 4. Page 1. Shout out to Mitza Fami. La Vita è Bella. 271. Looking good. Yo, of course, Peter wants us to mention it. He's second.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
270 there.
By the way, shout out to Peter because he's got a fantastic jersey collection. Thank you for sharing on the WhatsApp group.
Our Australian wonder from down under, Kim. 257 sitting in 9th with Prosciutto. I like it. Who else we got on here? Our boy Mark Strupa. Shamo FC's at 14. Alex from our Patreon is Cooch FC, 246. So pretty good. Anybody else? Any other mentions here?
Look at Lee Banyuf says, like, I'm on page 2, guys. It's okay. You're going to get up there.
You are on page 2.
But
we're a page 1 kind of guy right now.
Serie A Fantasy, guys, the link is in the comments. Please follow some great prizes that will be given out at the end of the year. So please follow and have some fun with that. Fabio, I wanted to ask you, Lab Gorilla is saying, hello, guys. Can you do a quick assessment of the strength of the top teams now that the transfer window is closed? I'm curious to know, who do you think has done the best job outside of Milan?
Oh, man.
Can you not go with Inter?
Yeah, Inter. I mean, Turam was pretty good.
We don't know where they got their money, but Inter is. I would say Inter did a fantastic job replacing, broken pieces of their team from what they've lost. But you can't take nothing away from. I'm gonna say this, guys. Juve stood their ground. Look, a lot of bullshit happened during the summer last year with Juve. A thing like Bonucci, the whole Bonucci saga. You're not part of the plans. And he goes to the player, you're not part of the plans. Get the fuck out. And I like that because they stood their ground. This is the direction we're going in, right? Good for them. But I will probably put Inter top of that list.
I would agree with that too. Yeah, Inter looks good. They replaced a lot of guys that left, and they look solid so far. So I think we've had the best, honestly. I think Atalanta looks pretty decent with some of the people that they picked up, especially Scamacca, CDK. So far. But I think honestly, it's Inter. They're 9 points as well. They got their new players have gotten on the score sheet. Their best players is playing really good right now. So as far as I'm concerned, they're definitely.
Frank knows where they got the
OnlyFans. That's right.
And from Paramount,
special pay-per-views there they have
Paramount Plus there that they got the. But guys, it is what it is. We got 2 weeks off. La Nazionale is playing. I just wanted to give. Like some sort of indigestion before we get into the Twitter, the busted ex-Calcio tweets, I guess you can call them. Anyways. And I loved how a couple of old men came up to me and shook my hand after I had this discussion with a guy. That guy at the bar that just cares about La Nazionale. He doesn't care about any team. Me, La Nazionale.
Yeah.
And I said, what's wrong with Italy? I said, forget the fact that this is as Spinazzola was getting subbed on. I go, Spinazzola can't start for Roma, but he's part of the national team. I go, and in Italy, instead of worrying about, okay, here's what we got. Here's Spalletti. What do we need to do? No, what are we concentrating on? We want money. We want money from Mancini. What he did was not right. This is why Serie A is in the state that it's in. So, you know what? Fuck you, FIGC. Until you put La Nazionale first and foremost. No, you're concentrating on what? That Mancini left you on a high and dry? If you guys are going to tell me that Mancini left just for the money, I don't fucking believe you, because nobody leaves just for money. Something was happening in there. Gravina, oh, he said this, and Mancini, oh, he said this, and now we want some money. Instead of concentrating on giving the guy what he needs, because we're a fucking embarrassment on the international level. Don't talk to him about the Euros, guys. Don't talk to him about the Euros. We are an embarrassment on the international side. So I wanted to say this, and I just get a grip. Just get a grip. Italy, like, get into the fucking 21st century. It is what it is. Anyways, I wanted to say this. Did you want to talk about anything before we get into the busted Calcio X? As like
my indigestion is just thank you, Milan. Not Milan, excuse me, Serie A, for putting Milan on a Friday. You idiots. Come on. Milan needs to be top bill Saturday or Sunday. Get it together. Stop putting us on stupid times. Even on the next game. You had to give us 12 o'clock here, Eastern Standard Time, just to give who? Lazio, Juve, the top billing? Give me a fucking break. That's my indigestion.
You gotta love it. Noon game for us here on the East Coast, the 9 a.m.
9 a.m. 9 a.m.
But hold on. You just came back from a Euro Derby. The eyes of the world on you for the first time ever in a long time. Let's give them a fucking 3 o'clock in Europe, 3 o'clock instead of a nighttime. Anyways, guys, let's see what, and I have some audio clips from Jan because he needed to explain some of this, but let's finish this up. Even look at Husney. He had to wake up at 2:30 in the morning. Husney, that's because you're evil. You're Darth Vader, and you're always gonna get the bad. The
2:30 in the morning. Damn, Husney. All right,
but what a trooper! What a trooper, Husney. On this note, Juve versus Lazio can't wait to lose. Strasbourg, Steve, you gotta love the guy. You know what? Steve in the group, he puts it that he puts himself down so much that you feel bad trash talking him.
No, this is Steve. Steve's doing those mental gymnastics there. He's trying to put it out there so the universe gives him something different. He's doing the anti-jinx. I like it.
Look at Peter, 3:30 in the morning for Peter. But let's have a look at what Jan gave us here in the Busted X Calcio. I can't get used to saying that. I'm sorry.
They even called them tweets anyway. This is so confusing.
No, it's like posts. Posts, is that what they're
calling? Is it posts? All right.
Repost or something? What the fuck do I know? What do we have here? Door number 1. Don Totti. There's no debating that Roma 100% has the best attack in Italy and probably the best midfield as well. Grazie at the Freaker Group. Don Totti doesn't seem
talking about.
I don't think he watched the game. I don't think Don Totti watched the game. You know what? It's okay to be excited with Lukaku. Guys, let's be honest. If Lukaku would have came to Milan, people would have got excited. I don't know about tracking a plane excited, but I believe that this tweet was brought out just before the actual game. How much crack did this guy smoke? We do not know. We do not know. That's undisclosed information. What else do we have after this? Hey, it's our friend Lupo. I'm starting to see a bit more clearly that the emotions of the match are slowly dissipating away. Guys, okay, so this tweet is after the game. Roma have Dybala and Lukaku, and Jan had to put it in highlight. Probably the best striker duo in Italy. What are we even worried about? After a break, both players will be healthy, back in form, and we will cook. Lupo, not for anything. If that's your team, I don't give it. Lukaku and Dybala is going to be hurt every week or so.
Has Dybala played at all yet? No, right?
No.
All right, so two guys, they're the best attacking duo in Italy. They haven't scored one goal, haven't played together once yet this season.
But they're
unbelievable. The best. Can you believe the audacity of this moron to type this and send it out to the world? How could they be the best? They haven't fucking played yet.
Steve is having a field day right now. The best striker duo.
Best. Get the fuck out of here. These guys crazy.
This one's winning so far. Here's Jan explaining this one.
So the fourth slide from Mirella is the Italian mentality of thinking that it can't be your fans that are racist. So when the Milan fans did racist chants to Lukaku. She's asking if it's Roma fans, just like that idiot Gigius Juve that was trying to blame Inter fans for fucking Juve fans. Anyway, that whole thing that happened at the Juve stadium with Lukaku. All that to say, it's a bit busted. Okay, ciao.
So there was some rumors. I didn't catch any of this officially, but there was some rumors that some Milan from La Curva Sud were giving a racist chance to Lukaku. And here's happy Milan Mirella saying like, are we really sure it was our fans? Maybe it was the Roma fans. Just don't tweet anything out at this point. I don't know, guys, if you've heard anything.
This is a phenomenon now.
It's a phenomenon.
Yes. Whenever you think somebody on your side maybe did something stupid, you have to say, could it really be the other side in disguise? Like it's almost some grand conspiracy. No, unfortunately, there are dumb people that love the club as much as we do, but do stupid things like this to embarrass everybody.
The only thing I don't like about this story, and I'm not saying it's not true, is that every time something like this happens, you have an official outlet coming out with it.
Yeah.
And guys, let's be honest, we're not the best fans in the world. But when was the last time you saw racism from Curva Sud? I don't remember last time. Maybe I'm forgetting, but this is pretty. Mirella would just don't say anything.
This is just an idiotic response. There's gonna be people that say stupid things. It's damn near impossible to stop. But don't make it seem like your side is holier than the other. No, they would never do. Are we sure it's us? Maybe it was the other team. Like, come on, shut up, man.
And last but not least.
And the last tweet is Serie A official account playing a video of the Milan fans singing Sarà perché ti amo, only for FIGC to then do an investigation because it's against Juventus. How busted is that?
That's guys. I want to take the time. I want to take the time to talk about this, and I don't want to be that old man screaming at the clouds and a boomer. What fucking world are we in? That Milanistas sang a chant. Che confusione, sarà perché ti fiamo. È un'emozione che sale piano piano, stringimi forte, che siamo più vicino, e chi non salta è un gobbo juventino. Let's investigate. What are you investigating? What do you have to investigate? And this is what the problem is with Italian soccer. Let's investigate these players that they did this chat, the song in the Lotto bus, and it's offending Juve players. Get the fuck! I'm not even blaming Juve on this one. This is on Serie A. Like, what else do we have to do? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man! Do you hear this in England, in Germany, in France? Like, this is just and look at this, them reposting the song that they actually fucking sang, that they're investigating now. How this is got to be the busted tweet of the year on this one. Anyways,
yeah. This is so stupid. Unbelievably stupid. First of all, you take a moment that was just great. Anytime you see our players singing happy, going crazy on the bus, means our season's going good.
Did you see Adley, like, when there's no other words, he's like,
leave the guy alone, man. He's the biggest Milanista there is right now. Let him rock out on the bus. I mean, even you saw Chukwueze dancing back there. Everybody was happy. This is the dumbest story that they could have ever mentioned. Just because you mentioned Juve, they immediately start running to do an investigation. Oh, why did you say that? You can't say that. I mean, come on. This is some soft
Materazzi
stuff.
put a Berlusconi mask like 10 years ago. What did we do? We went online and we said we're offended.
Everybody's offended. Stop being offended.
Stop being fucking a snowflake generation. I'm sorry. Take it. Did it come out and go after their families or this? No. It's just like, oh, they spoke bad about Juve and it went viral. And get the fuck out of here. Seriously.
They need a week of stuff to talk about before the Italy plays.
You know what? I would like to ask any Juventini that when they hear the song, do they feel offended? They probably don't even know this fucking song. And I'm sure Juventinis have, chants against other... everybody, every fucking club does. This is what calcio is. But no, let's you know what? Let's ruin the game. Let's ruin the game with this. Let's ruin the game with calling back a VAR after 2 minutes after the game and l'investigazione. Let's call back 2 goals that supposedly were.
But what team doesn't have? What sport doesn't have these moments where your team has a chant against the opposing other team or your rival? Like, this is just common. This is such a bullshit story for no reason.
I have a video of England fans in the 2010 World Cup, 2006 World Cup, screaming at German fans, 2 worlds and 1 World Cup, do-da. My granddad killed your granddad. Where's the... It's not funny. My granddad killed your granddad.
Everybody needs to stop being so sensitive.
If this happened today, my God.
My God. The Twitter
Cancel
police,
culture.
Their hats would be spinning and levitating, like the old school. They're just crazy. This is such a dumb
This is
story.
my busted fucking
2023, right?
Serie A, you're an embarrassment. Honestly, before, as Steve likes to say, time and time again, before we lose you completely that we can't watch you anymore, shape up, right? And you want to investigate fucking... And have we heard anything since that?
No.
I haven't heard anything. They're going to do what? An open investigation? È chiuso l'investigazione. Anyways, it is what it is.
So which one are we going with?
I'm going with this one.
Let's do a recap.
Hold on. Recap. Yeah. So we have... there's no debating. But Don Totti, because there's no debating that Roma has.
I mean, Don Totti and the other guy, Lupo, they might be the same person because they're on the same wavelength here. They think they're both the best in the league. Unbelievable. So it's like you can't vote for one for the other. So they might counteract each other both out. And Lupo should get the award just because it's named after him, but we're not going to give it to him.
Juventus, talking about Superga when they... That's not offensive. That's not offensive, talking about...
Yeah, that's not offensive. No, let's mock people dying.
Lupo and... it's you know what? It's busted, but I think they live in their imaginary world. That's what I come down to. Honestly, I'm going to...
Their own bubble.
Morella's busted, but I'm sorry. This happening on the same weekend that we get investigating for chanting that song in our bus after beating Roma convincingly, Serie A. And they've made this podium quite a bit, Fabio.
Yeah, I mean, Serie A deserves it. They've done a lot of things to embarrass themselves. So it makes sense that they're our winner this week. They get the Lupo Award.
And you know what? Even Strasbourg, Steve, he's a young man, but he knows cancel culture is ruining society. It is what it is.
You know what I want to cancel next? Inter's spot at the top, all right? That's what I want canceled immediately next week.
We got 2 weeks off. Stay tuned. Turn the subscriptions on. Maybe Coast to Coast might do a special. We're going to maybe do a Patreon group therapy. We will have some shows, maybe a Milanese one worldwide here and there. Maybe Milan Club Nashville. Reach out to us. I'll gladly do a special with you. Houston, Nashville, Houston, Texas. Mi scusate. Cancel me, guys. Cancel me that I called
He's
Nashville,
being geographically...
here in Canada. What do I know? Nashville, Texas, Houston.
That's true.
I know Houston wrestling.
You guys have Calgary, Alberta, Canada in Serie A. It's unbelievable.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada, as Facebook prank would like to say. On that note, Fabio, what are the people in the store for? Maybe you and you're heading out there, in a couple of weeks to go meet?
Next Saturday, I will be live at Desmond's bar with, of course, Milan Club Phoenix. So if you're going to be in the Phoenix area, come through. I'll be there with my family, my wife, my uncle, my cousins. It's going to be a great time. Of course, Nico and the rest of the Milan Club Phoenix. So come through. They're doing a special thing, opening the bar early because it's 9 a.m. Who the fuck goes to a bar at 9 a.m.? But they're doing us a favor, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I like to go out bars at 9 a.m. for having coffee. But guys, stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, subscribe. You'll be able to get those notifications. Join us on the Patreon, and you know what? I know I have a couple of guys in the Patreon, Fabio, that are in the naughty corner. Shane, obviously. Shane is a bad boy. He's been there for a couple of months. Lab Gorilla, he comes and goes. Husney is the president of the naughty corner. And Miguel actually sent me a message because she's like, hey, guys, I love your passion for F1. But I look forward to looking at these messages, and if you could keep it off the Milan chat. And she sent me a message personally. Are you gonna put me in the corner for that one there? I go, it's okay. You got a hall pass for now. I go, you're very respectful, but this is the shenanigans that we get on the Milan Weekly Podcast Patreon group. You wake up at 6 a.m., there's 340 messages. That's what it is. But I appreciate every single one of you. And to Andon and John, thank you for reminding me that Ferrari still sucks. Thank you for that. But Miguel, you're okay. You're not in the naughty corner for now. We shall see. But Shane is there, ready to greet you with open arms. But don't get close to Husney. Husney's really, really bad. Fabio, what do we have before we let everybody go?
I'm not sure about what's coming this week. Me and Gio a bit on. But we're gonna have something coming pretty soon. There's a lot of Milan fans out there that I think I need to talk to, because there's a lot of people that are very negative out there, Vinny, and I don't quite understand. I'm on other people's channels to understand what type of Milan fan would be unhappy.
Your boy Roy?
Right now. Listen, I'm going to go as far as saying my boy. I don't know Roy that well, but there are other channels. You've seen me reach out. I've spoken to Martino. I've spoken to Torgrud, as other people out there that they have different opinions, right? But there's a couple of people that a lot of our fans listen to as well, who are very negative about everything. And I just need to understand why. Maybe I need more than one person with me. Maybe Gio, because Gio's, he'll
join their
across
lives.
the aisle. He Gio's everywhere. Everybody knows Gio. That's one thing or another. So I'm just trying to understand where people's mentality is at. Because I know everybody. They like Steve's, the way Steve thinks. His mentality is very, hey, calm down. This, that. We'll wait 10 games. Steve's not getting excited. He'll never get on the bus until it's the 38th week. But that's not what Fabio does. Fabio's not here to give you that. Fabio's here to tell you, all right, what you're seeing now is 100% a glorious beginning to an outstanding year that I'm telling you, if you just see at certain spots of the season, it shows you that this is going to be a miraculous run. So stay with us here, because I'm going to be definitely getting David ready to fill up the bus. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? On that note, guys, it's okay to be excited. I, for one, I said, we're going to judge after 10 games. But that doesn't mean I can't be excited watching my Milan. I was watching Milan. I was like, who is this team? I couldn't believe it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm putting over Milan at the best team in Serie A. No, it's okay to be excited. But to find negativity, and unfortunately, guys, yes, second star. Unfortunately, guys, those guys get the views and the clicks and the whatever the case may be. I'm not going to change who the fuck I am. We're not going to change the content of our channel. You guys do you. We're going to do us. And it is what it is. And
Yeah,
Fabio,
listen,
next time, fix your hair next time. Look at you. You're just coming out of the shower.
This is my natural
This is your regular hair?
man. Yes, vintage. You don't remember? It's hard because you got to look up at me because you're a smaller guy. I'm not very tall. Me and Stevie, you can't see the top of our heads. We're bigger than you guys. But listen, I just want to say, look, we never change who we are. We don't give you no bullshit. I give you optimism because you should have it. This Milan hasn't shown you anything bad. When they do, and they give you the constant heartburn, which that's on the ingredients, all right? If you read the label, that's what comes along with being a Milan fan. Nothing comes easy to us, despite everybody's calls because of the referee, this, that. We always got to struggle. It's always got to be like that. But God forsake, honestly, why do you have to be negative now? This is the beginning of the season. We are 3 for 3. Let's fucking go. Believe in your squad. Believe it's going to be our year. If not, you might be a Met fan underneath. I don't know.
It's okay to be excited and still have your feet on the ground, says Fabio, Mr. Cardinale out, where we had her, where he was not. He was
been
on
a
the
roller
other
coaster
side,
of a
and I had to bring him back. But on that note, Fabio, let's say goodbye to everybody. Stay tuned to the notifications. You will see what we got up for you guys in the next couple of weeks. Ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!